doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm good.
Is that very delicious? Or
Yeah.
delicious?
We don't like blue crab.
You just ruined it. Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
We know we are recording.
I know. To put this aside. Sorry, y'all. I was very hungry. So, I've had some questions about insecurities.
Ooh, this is good. This is gonna be good.
Insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Even in marriage.
Ooh.
So, if you want to know if people are still insecure even when they are booed up, stay tuned for this episode.
Word. I don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome back, friends and family. My name is Jillian DeFutt.
And my name is Ernesto Difu. You can call me Ernie.
And this is Let's Get Personal. On this particular episode, we are going to be talking about being insecure even once you've got the ring, even once you've walked down the aisle and said I do and you're on a sheet of paper that legally binds you. With my hair all crazy and him wearing a hat as well because I have not trimmed up his hair. So I wanted to kind of discuss that because I know that I've seen it a lot in women saying that they're still insecure or that they are afraid that they're not going to be enough once they're married.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know from a male perspective if you have insecurities as well, even after marriage or what have you.
Yeah, we men can also have insecurity as well.
What's your biggest insecurity?
My biggest insecurity?
Yeah.
Unfaithfulness. That's my biggest insecurity.
So, a little backstory. There was infidelity. I am the second wife.
Yes.
First marriage, there was infidelity issues. And so that's a valid reason that even after he and his ex-wife had said, I do, there was not this whole, I'm only yours and you're only mine thing. And I don't know if that is prevalent in particular communities or not. What is falling behind us?
It's getting good.
So I don't know if it's...
The house is not haunted, all right? We keep moving forward.
I don't know if it's prevalent in certain communities or not, but I hear a lot of it from communities of color is more vocal about infidelity and that being even a concern as to why they won't say I do because of the fact that whether they're married or not married, there is still that probability of infidelity. I know for me, my insecurities are similar to a lot of other women, I think, where I know I tell you, I want your attention, right? Like,
Right.
I'll come and I'll talk to you and I'll be like, I want your attention, I want you to love me, whatever that looks like.
Right.
And it's not that I don't believe my husband to be faithful, because he is, and he's very open and honest, which I'm grateful for, but it doesn't take away from the insecurity of a wandering eye because of past hurt. So I think that's something that should be known by people.
I mean, you should be vulnerable. I believe in vulnerability. You know, you should let your spouse or whoever you are with, let them know about your insecurity. Yes. My insecurity doesn't allow me to limit myself, especially with my beautiful wife next to me, because this is a new journey, a new walk. But I had to deal with this insecurity. You know, there's certain things that I say that I didn't realize that it was insecurity because of unfaithfulness that I have experienced in the past. And my wife Jillian, she brought it up one day. I said, Ernie, yo, you probably don't say that you don't have insecurity, but you act like when you do. That was a wake up call. So yeah, one of the hard insecurities that I've been dealing with is unfaithfulness, and I don't want to say as much as that I dwell on that, but it's more like fear.
Yeah.
If I may say fear.
Yeah.
But I know that's not going to happen because I know how Jillian is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good to talk about it because that causes in a relationship to understand one another and to comprehend one another. And I guess I call it not to step someone's feet. Like, I don't want to step on my wife's feet. If she has some insecure area, I try to do as best as I can to actually help her in that area, and she's doing the same thing with me. So I think that's how you deal with the insecurity as much as you can. Just confess, open up, be vulnerable about it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that just because you say I do, that the insecurity doesn't magically disappear. The fear probably actually gets more intensified because now, I remember, I'll never forget this. So we got married actually in the backyard, and it was really, really cool experience. But the day of the wedding, in the morning, I had cold feet. Then once we said I do, everything was fine. And then I think like 3 or 4 days later, I had a panic attack. I actually went for a walk around the neighborhood. We do not live in the safest area. But I went for a walk around the neighborhood in the middle of the night because I was fuming. And for me, I was just terrified and scared, and all of this was brand new to me, and I still felt I actually felt more like a little child, like a very scared little girl, and he had to comfort my fears in that instance. Not because I was afraid that he was going to leave me for somebody else, because I have issues with abandonment, and I have issues with at that time I couldn't do anything, so I really felt like I was not enough because I was pregnant on bed rest. So it was very scary for me because there was nothing that I could do to even appease him. We couldn't even consummate our wedding night because of the fact that I was on pregnancy bed rest, and intimacy would have actually created a whole other set of issues that would have put me in the hospital. So that affected our sex life. It affected my confidence level. There were so many factors involved, and I just didn't feel like I was going to be a good enough wife. And what made it worse was he didn't realize that there was a comparison thing that he was putting on me from his first marriage, where there was an expectation where he didn't realize it. He may have said that there was no expectations, but there was an expectation for me to be somebody or do something because that wasn't fulfilled in his first marriage. So I know, like I said, those insecurities don't go away just because you say I do, but it amplifies. So I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I want to add something that you just said about expectation. When you're getting married or when you're in the process of in marriage or whatever, the wrong thing that, and I want to speak for men, and I'm going to be their advocate. You know what I mean? The wrong thing that we do is that we have all these high expectations towards a woman or towards our spouses, expecting that they do what you're expecting what you're expecting them to do, and that is a full complete error. You cannot expect anything, because if you come with expectation, then whatever past that you had, you're expecting that this woman or this girl will be better than the other girls before that has been in your life. That's not good, because you really are minimizing or really belittling the woman that you are with. Like, one day, me and my wife Jill, we sat down and we had a deep conversation. To the conclusion of this conversation, we came into the agreement to say, look, this is new to you. even though I was married before, doesn't mean that I'm an expert. This is also new to me because I am married to you. So I have to unlearn everything that I had before I was with Jill in that first marriage to be able to learn to live and to please and to love unconditionally to the wife that is next to me now. And in this process, it's awesome. It was hard to unlearn, but at the same time, it helps me to have these, to deal with these unsecureness and these expectations that I put upon her, you know, and that's one of the errors that we men need to fix, because instead of you thinking that your wife is doing great because she's meeting your expectation, what you're doing is you're pushing them more farther than you ever can even imagine. So it's not good, you know what I mean? So if you're doing that now and you find yourself doing that now because you're watching this video and your eyes are being open, I encourage you to go to your spouse and be real with them, speak with them, find a solution. And the solution is to open up. The solution is to be vulnerable with one another. I remember there's nights that I wake up screaming and I told Jill, I had a dream about you doing this to me and you cheating on me on this area. Technically, it's not going to happen. It's just because of my past experience, trauma that I experienced. My insecurity was coming out of me.
Yeah.
And I had kept having dreams and dreams and dreams, and knowing that that's from the devil himself, because it's not really from the Lord, but it's because there's some areas that needs to be dealt with. So me and my wife helped me out to learn how to deal with this kind of situations.
Yeah, it's not easy. These are very difficult conversations to have. This is ongoing and we have not perfected the process. I think by us even putting out there that we still go through this and that this is just a daily, like we're daily having to die to ourselves. We're daily having to die to one another, and that's just the process. And I think for anyone who is watching, want you guys to know that like we're not perfect, and if you are getting married with the expectation of happily ever after is only what you make it to be.
Right.
Marriage is very hard work. The wedding is just a party. It's a celebration of two people coming together. However, the marriage is not the wedding. And if your expectation coming into this is that you're going to be the Instagram couple of the year, that will sorely put a weight on you and destroy you, because the insecurities are going to bubble up behind closed doors.
Oh, yeah.
Being vulnerable is part of being married. You get married to have your heart broken 6,000 times, because every single day your partner is going to do something that hurts you. But if it's a deal breaker, then you're probably also not ready. It's going to be very tough, and there will be times where you want to give up because of your insecurity that you've then placed on the other person. And I would like to encourage you that it does get better. I mean, you guys see us laughing all the time, so it does get better.
Oh yeah, I always say to Jill, I said, yo, this is the best marriage I ever had in my entire life. Yo, for real, for real.
Yeah, we really did marry best friends. Like we are each other's best friend, because we're finding ways to communicate, make the insecurities lighter, because we're not pressing what we are hurt by onto it.
Just deal with your insecurity, deal with your issues, and if you have sorts of habits that leads to insecurity, please deal with it ASAP with your spouse. Talk about it, share with one another, be vulnerable about it. Not just be vulnerable in the bed and having some good time in the bed and that's it. Be vulnerable as well in your emotions and stuff that you're dealing with.
Yeah, well, if this video resonated with you in any way, please subscribe. We're putting out content literally 5 days a week. So that way you guys can get some good information and have some good interaction. Below I will have links to some other resources, including my Instagram, Ernie's Instagram. If you like what he has to say, he is awesome in general. And comment, let us know if you are experiencing insecurities. We'd love to connect with you.
Yes,
I'll
please.
also put my email and his email so you could email us respectively, and we would love to connect.
Yep.
Anyway, that is all for now. It's been our pleasure. Grace and peace.
See y'all.